Hello there.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Wednesday.
Is it not Thursday?
It's not Thursday. It's we don't have one for Wednesday, do we?
Wednesday night flight. That's it was JT, I think, said that earlier.
Wednesday night flight. Good evening. Hope you're all well.
Turkish A321neo there. TC LST heading off to Istanbul with flight 1996. We've got a very special guest with us today.
We have. Good evening, Ken.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Is everybody okay?
I'm all right. Are you all right, Thierry?
Yeah, I'm good. It's the sun's broken out through the clouds.
It's a great day.
Can you hear Ken? That is the first question we need to establish.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear Ken and Barbie?
There
Bobby.
you go. Straight, what was that, 30 seconds? Yeah.
Oh, never-ending puns.
EasyJet to Malaga there, GUJEC, flight 2285. We've also got Rob's squeaky chair with us this evening.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. It is so squeaky. Like every time it squeaks, Thierry winces. And also slaps me. No, it doesn't. Evening heavies, let's have a look at where they are before we do anything else. So, 45 minutes for the Etihad 787-9. 777s, the Emirates from Dubai, just an hour and a quarter away. Qatar 787 in around about an hour and a half. Where are those tankers? Where are those air tankers? Well, I'm not sure we'll get that. 3 hours 15 minutes coming from Tenerife. I'll be asking a bit much for this evening. Anyway, hope you're all well. It's great to have you all with us this evening. Hello to everybody in the chat, Craig Hume, and our fantastic mods, Drew Stanaway, Sarah J and Steve B. Great to have you with us. Good evening to Dwayne Curley, H. Dot, how are you doing? Good to see you. Henry Bro, JT, Claudia, Laura Bacon, Luke KC, how are you doing? How's Swissport treating you? Paul 787, good to see you. Rachie Luke, Richard Dowd, hope you got some washing done today. Rob BH, good to see you too. Jeff of the Griffithses, Steve Mack, Suzanne W, Wadders, Southport Spotter, good to have you with us as well. Hope you're doing well. And Will Peverell. If I missed anybody, please say hello. Carol Cupcake, and Alison Gottfreund. And Tony Crystal. There we go. I think I'm relatively up to date in the chat.
You can tell who's got notifications turned on.
Oh yes, yes, they're arriving.
Because it's not a normal day, is it, for us? So, yes, it is Wednesday, unfortunately, not Thursday. I kept feeling like it was Thursday this morning. We will be here tomorrow as well, though, so it won't throw you out too much for your week.
4-day week. And
Yeah.
4-day flight week, yeah.
Bank holiday as well next week. Everyone's got to be mistaken, aren't they?
Oh, throwing everybody out of order.
Do my first direct jaw roll. I mean, it is a bit new for us doing this. We've never done this kind of setup before, because so it's a little bit adjust as we go. But yeah, welcome, Ken. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'll start my journey at the beginning. So ever since I was like really young, wanted to be a pilot. So like mum and dad used to work in factories, so it was like unheard of at that time for like someone like me to have that level of like enjoyment of watching planes and stuff like that. So yeah, so growing up like working class background in Bolton, but chosen all my career paths wanting to be that pilot. And then, like when I was like 17, 18, I had a seizure. So I had the unfortunate journey of going down to the Civil Aviation Authority at Gatwick, where I was told by a doctor that I'm grounded for 10 years, and that was even before I started.
God.
So you can imagine like the devastation. But what you got to think about is like your resilience and what can you do to make that work. So I went to college. I didn't do that the traditional route as such. I didn't go to university. I worked at Toys R Us.
No, nice. Selling planes
got my
rather than
skills in
flying
like
them.
customer service there. Actually served Peter Kay.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
He probably doesn't remember that. He returned a Sony PlayStation steering wheel, but there you go. Yeah.
I don't want this thing.
So I got my skills with like teamwork and customer service like at Toys R Us, and that led to me applying for the role that started off at Air 2000. I don't know if any of you viewers remember Air 2000.
AMM, I remember them. I remember them well.
Yeah. So I remember being really nervous for the interview because this is like a first proper job.
Yeah.
So I went with one of my friends who's like supported me, like. And then so went for the interview. Nervous wreck, but what persisted was like that level of enthusiasm and that those transferable skills that you get. From those jobs, which is what a lot of industry wants, like those transferable skills. So I ended up, I started off as a crewing officer. So does anyone on the chat know what a crewing officer is?
There we go, first quiz question. One of the problems we'll have with this is that's about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
So
fine,
we're
yeah,
gonna
don't worry.
we'll just
So
pause.
we'll have that question there. Yeah.
Well,
So
that wind's picked
what's
up.
a crewing officer?
Crewing officer.
I wasn't expecting it to be windy.
I'm having a mull. I'm going to have a guess about what I think it is in a moment.
Got KLM taxiing out, and who's next on approach? Oh, Swiss A220 coming in next.
Hey, little Wookie.
So feel free to ask any questions for Ken in the chat. There's also the Ask Ken emoji as well.
So Lucas says putting the crews together.
Brilliant. Yeah.
There you
So
go.
that was working.
So you're like Bob, Sharon, you're flying that one today.
That's it. Yeah. So 12-hour shifts, having to call people up at like 3 in the morning if someone goes sick, saying, "Could you do this flight for us?" So it was. I don't know if you remember. See where the Radisson building is?
Yeah.
Where the train station is? Voyager building used to be on the top floor there. So I did that for 2 years. So like again, seeing the professionalism of working with teams in like 12-hour shifts, and one of those shifts was the 9/11 shift.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So seeing that the entire like operational program just collapse because of all the flights like going to America and everything like that. So that was an interesting few days. And then you get a relationship with the crew through the telephone. It was quite a weird situation to be knowing people by the voice. So I was always crewing Ken.
Yeah.
Because that's how I used to pick up the phone. But then I did that for nearly...
Like literally hi, crewing Ken.
Crewing Ken, that's it, yeah. People still know me as that now, like some 20 odd years later. I then progressed. I went for an interview for cabin crew for the airline. I got that. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Best job. I think anyone who's single coming out of college to think about that, and that level of training was so intense. Yeah, it was fantastic. Like going into swimming pools, inflating the life rafts, everything like that. Yeah.
And that's just in your spare time.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Just in my spare time. Yeah.
Did any of the crews? Look, Wookie. Did any of the crews like not want to work with each other, or?
Well, the thing with Air 2000 is every shift you work with different people. So you weren't like with the same crew all the time. It was a great way of getting to know everybody. And then I was there nearly 10 years in total. So you do get to know how everybody works, and then you form that relationship that way. But yeah, in such intense flights, like an hour and a half, like flights to like the Swiss Alps and things like that, like the winter ski flights. It's just unheard of, the go aspect of it when you're on those flights. But what I loved about it is that professionalism and that level of training, that is such a high level of training that everybody going through. I mean, every year you'd have to repeat your training, and every year you'd have to watch like the same like video on like how to prepare for like giving birth and putting fires out and going down to Gatwick to go like put fires out. Honestly, it's a brilliant experience.
Right, Ken, you're practicing giving birth today.
That's it, yeah.
That was EasyJet just arriving in the background from Geneva. We've got the KLM to Amsterdam's coming down Victor Bravo. Yeah, just getting my bearings there for a second. Good evening to all of you that have joined. Mr. Bear says his boyfriend is flying on the Ryanair 1855, so be able to wave. Excellent. Which flight is that? Let me know. Make sure I try not to miss it. Shouldn't do.
Remind us in the chat, because it might be a bit difficult to keep an eye on it tonight. H. says, amazing story, inspirational. One of my sons has overcome the restrictions of epilepsy, medically controlled and driving at university.
That's brilliant to hear.
Henry Rose said he's not a clue what a crewing officer is. Well, we've covered
it
that
feels like someone that'd be on the Titanic, doesn't it? First crewing officer perished at sea.
JT nailed it on as well, but Lucas got the gold star this evening. Carol Cupcake says, I loved Air 2000, staff and planes were fabulous. I have a serviette holder from the airline. Those are the days when you get a cloth serviettes in economy.
I'm surprised that's not on eBay.
Ryanair touching down from Derry, EI EVH, flight 8491. Probably my new favourite one, Lady Man.
Oh, Londonderry.
Or Laddie Man, maybe.
LDY man. Anthony Oyston, thank you so much for your support. He's been in the flight crew for 2 months. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Anthony.
Sorry, we kind of interrupted your flow then.
Don't worry.
H. said, I watched 9/11 unfold at Middle Police Station.
I bet a lot of people got stories about that.
I was at Salford University at the time, and I was walking across to go and pick my Mark II Ford Fiesta over from the training centre that my dad worked at, where they'd done some work on it that day.
There you go. You'll never forget that day. Yeah.
I was watching The Matrix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then it finished, and it was, back in the day with the TV would then automatically kick over to like terrestrial TV, and it was BBC News was on.
Yeah.
And it was in between, I think it was the first one had already happened, but the second one hadn't, so then you saw it happen.
Will Peverell, this is a difficult one actually. Did Air 2000 become first choice, then Thompson, now too?
That's it, yeah.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
So I took voluntary redundancy when they merged with Thompson, or TUI as they're known now. Yeah. And that's when I worked for different companies like Apple and McCann. And then like the big disruptor of COVID, changed careers. Became trained to be a teacher during COVID. Did that for 3 years, teaching at secondary, did computing, business studies and iMedia. And then after 3 years teaching secondary, I then promoted to deputy head at a local college. And I did that for 2 years. And then I stepped back from that because my passion was still aviation technology. And that's when I set my business up, Flight Deck PC. And that's where I am now. And then
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but it's the precious A220 Wookiee.
Heading back to Paris Charles de Gaulle now, flight 1269, I think. Doing that from memory. 1169. That's the worst Wookiee ever.
Well, the problem is I think the wind's blowing quite hard the wrong way.
Lucas says he knows the joy of doing yearly training.
So is Lucas cabin crew?
Swissport.
Oh, Swissport.
Yeah. He's quite often can be found in the hold of the Gulf Air. One of his favourites.
Ryanair in the Buzz livery arrived in the background from Budapest. Wind has picked up quite a lot, hasn't it?
It has, isn't it? Oh.
Is there a front going over?
Yeah, it must be because of the gap in the clouds appearing, but it's not such a bad thing.
So you're an aviation ambassador for the Department of Transport.
That's right, yeah,
Like, how did that come
So
around?
I saw an online advertisement for the role, and I thought it was a volunteer role. So I thought, you know what? I'm passionate about aviation. I can share my industry, share my education background. So that's what I do now. So help schools and colleges with career information, going schools and colleges, talk to them, do workshops, aviation related workshops. But got to remember as well, it's not just the young people who want a career in aviation. There might be older people who want that change in career.
Is there, I don't actually know this, is there any age limit on pilot training or?
That part I'm unsure, but yeah. I think for airlines it would be the cost of their training versus how long you'll stay at the airline, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a few people where they've done their first flight. We had that first officer was on the Jet 2 flying for the first time, with his mum, family that came and watched.
Brilliant.
They're like, "Oh, you're going to be live." We were like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
We're so excited.
I think that was our fastest ever setup, wasn't it? In 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, I've never done it that fast. We've had we tend to get quite a few EasyJet pilots popping by along here. ALM 1036 to Amsterdam. Slightly longer ones, 737-900 PHBXR on the roll there.
We had a short one on Monday, didn't we?
We did, 700.
It feels like we haven't actually left since Monday.
Oh, tell me about it.
Just packed everything up, went in the car and then came back again. It'll definitely feel like that tomorrow. We'll have to go somewhere else.
Right, where was I in the chat? Somebody asked for were there any routes that people didn't particularly like being put on?
Well, I think one of the most popular ones are obviously the Orlando ones, because everybody used to do the shopping there. So it was drop your suitcases off in the room, get the taxi to the outlet malls up in International Drive and what have you. So yeah, they were always popular ones. I think any trip where you're called out at 3 in the morning is an unpopular one. I remember Christmas Day being called out from Maldives. Yeah, so it's but I'm going to the Maldives. But it's Christmas Day, I'm going to the Maldives. So it's so there are some weird things that go through your mind when you do get that phone call. So yeah, I mean, Air 2000 used to do round the world charter flights in the winter time. So if you'd be selected, you'd have to apply for those and do those. So they take out the interior of the 757. They'd put all premium seats in. There'd be 80 seats as compared to 233 seats in the 757. And then they'd have an onboard chef and stuff like that. So you used to do round the world trips in a 757. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds that's amazing. Lucas said he gets called the Gulf Master.
The Gulf Master.
He's always on it. Will Peverell says, Ken, clearly you had all the interest in aviation. Did you ever consider air traffic control?
No, I never did consider that. I think because, yeah, I wouldn't know where to start. I think for me it might be just overwhelming, I suppose. And I think because I'm a natural like people person. I like to like face to face with people rather than like over like the telephone or like the radio and things like that. So yeah, I think you've got to look at like your jobs and like what you like to do, like your personality. If your personality is suited to be that ultra focused mode, then yeah, I'd consider it air traffic control. But for me, it wasn't appealing to me then. Yeah.
I remember looking at it like back in the day when I was, because I got into planes. Just I've probably described this a few times, but going on a Dan Air 111 to Alicante in 1991. And those were the days where you could still go on top of Terminal 1. Not along the piers, that had long since stopped, but you could you could get to the viewing area on top there. In fact, there was no other viewing area really at that point, apart from like, obviously doing this around various spots. Well, that was the main thing, that and on top of the Terminal 1 car park. And I'd always loved cars. Like to the point of obsession.
Really?
Yeah. And then that just went completely, and I was just obsessed with aircraft. And I just used to read like loads of books about planes.
So did you like parents used to like take you plane spotting and things like
Yeah, so Mum would take me, like in the early days, Mum would take me like on a Saturday. We'd get the 369 bus, which was the 400 bus, which was the Stockport to the airport bus. Back in the day, and. A few years later, then me and Dad sometimes used to park the Mark III Ford Escort Estate just down by the airport hotel. He got a parking ticket once.
Did he?
Happy, side of the road. That was when there was still a couple.
When you could park.
That was when there was still a couple of houses like down there, like a couple of terraced houses.
Here comes our plane, R&T, heading off to Barcelona. Lucas was saying, in terms of age-wise, they get a lot of people straight out from college, so sort of 17, 18, 19, and they struggle realising how tough a manual labour job it is. But if they get through it and push through the training, then it's good fun. Yeah,
and I suppose you get big guns from doing it.
I say it's like free gym, isn't it? Surely. The lovely Jules C. Hello, lovely. She says, my daughter absolutely loves her cabin crew role. I think she's with EasyJet, isn't she?
Okay.
She says the 5-week training is not for everyone, but she embraced it all and passed with flying colours. No pun intended.
Flying Colours was an airline back then as well, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That merged in. That became JMC Air.
That's it.
That became Thomas Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those lineages around that time, like the 2000s, there was...
Oh, everything was happening.
It was. Everybody was merging with everyone. So Jason Banders also said, regarding cabin crew, what was the route that everyone hated being put on?
It was definitely like the night roads, the Sharm el Sheikhs, because the Sharm el Sheikh would be like 6 hours each way, so it was a there and back. But obviously you had your hour and a half, like pre-briefing, then it was an hour turnaround, and then like as quick as possible, like debriefing at the end of it. So it was like a 13-14 hour day, so that day weren't nice.
That's miserable.
Yeah, and then like the night roads, the night Ibithas, the Club 1830s. I don't know what it's like nowadays, but yeah.
Party planes. I think that's the thing you always forget, isn't it? When you're flying on holiday and you're getting off the plane, like for you it's like, oh, that's it done, but for them it's like it's only halfway through the day.
That's it. Yeah. There was some good like. Do you know, like the end of the season and the beginning of the season where they'd be like, you'd fly out like empty, and then you come back empty depending on what time of the season it was. So they were always good. Yeah.
I mean, nobody to deal with.
How much am I allowed to say without getting in trouble? But I don't work for the airline anymore, so it's like taking the tray table off and sliding down the aisle on takeoff and things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, more importantly, though,
go for it.
More importantly, in the style of BJ from Britannia Airways, did you ever say to now you've had a good moan?
So I remember there were some posh flights, as I used to call them. So there'd be like some Italian flights that we used to do. And I remember one lady, she was sat at the back of the aircraft, and she said, "Excuse me, could you ask the pilot to turn the noise of the engines down?" I said, "I tell you what, love, I'll tell him to turn it off. Would you please, darling? Thank you." So it's I think everybody has a great story about aviation and that love and that passion, don't they? And then sharing those stories, yeah. I mean, I've got some sad stories, some great stories, but you leave that job with that pride, that sense of pride that you get, and working with that team, even that you might not see them for like another week or so. Yeah. And then when you catch up with them the next time, it's we did this and we did that. And then when you're down route, like making friends. So, like for example, you do like Orlando flights, and sometimes you'd be there what would be called like a bullet. So you'd fly out to Orlando, you'd stay the night, and then fly back. But sometimes you could be there 4 or 5 days, depending on the schedule of the aircraft. So some opportunities you could like hire a car with some of your colleagues. And like go to like Daytona Beach and like do the theme parks. And so I was a Disney rep, so I used to sell like all the Disney tickets on the aircraft. Yeah. Like when we landed like at Orlando, it was like, "Hello everybody, welcome to Orlando." So I try my best to do like Mickey Mouse impressions, because
That noise is not Rob's chair, that is Rob.
If you'd have asked me a few hours ago, I did not expect there'd be a Mickey Mouse impression.
There you go.
I just got told to be quiet. Oh, amazing.
Should we catch up with all the people that have joined?
Yes.
Miss anyone?
Good evening, everybody in the chat. Sorry if I've missed you. Peter Joseph Gammon says his brother works at Manchester Airport and is in air conditioning maintenance for Mighty. All sorts of like.
Well, when you think about an airport, it's like a city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where am I up to? I always lose my place in the chat, scrolling through it. Evening, Mike G. Evening, Dawn P. That's going down. Lucas says he'd say story-wise, his best one is one of his team leaders met the entire Liverpool squad, and he's met Wayne Rooney coming back from New York City.
Brilliant.
There you go. Laura Bacon says, "What's the worst route you've ever done?"
I've done some.
Probably the worst flight.
So we had to do some emergency flights to Venezuela. So that was an eye-opening experience. Of
wow.
Yeah. So I think it was like some rescue flights. I've had to do some. This was back in the 2000s, so it was like taking back asylum seekers, failed asylum seekers. So it was like from Dublin back to, I can't remember the destination, but it was the most surreal experience being on, and like having like these people with like Ziplocs on the planes. It was obviously all male crew and everything like that. So yeah, it just opens your eye up to like what's happening in the world. Yeah.
So, random question, but just popped into my head. When you were saying about like repatriation stuff, what about like when people die and they've got to be flown back? Is there separate people that handle things like the funeral, coffin, etc., or is it just part of the normal ground crew? And we'll find out after the Lufthansa.
Eddie Cummins said, slide in the aisle, brilliant. There you go. That's a popular one. I forgot what you said to Gary, I'm so sorry.
About coffins.
I think, like, I would imagine insurance companies would deal with that, and obviously they would liaise with the airline. But yeah, I mean, I've had crew that have had to deliver babies on flights. We've had flights that like young people have suddenly died. There's also having to suddenly divert, and then people complaining that they didn't get a vegetarian meal when they've left the plane and stuff like that. It's just, it puts things in perspective sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah.
Especially the vegetarian meal.
Definitely.
One. You had that one that time on Jet 2, didn't you? Where
oh, don't get me started on
so
that.
was it a 737 was supposed to be on it, gone tax, so we got a 757.
Okay.
Which I'm not mad about that at all.
But because we had extra legroom seats, we therefore weren't in the row that we normally would be sat in on 737. We were obviously further back on the 757, but they obviously hadn't, crew obviously hadn't twigged on that. So they, although they said otherwise, they'd basically given Rob's meal to the person in the other.
Yeah, but he said to me,
seats.
well, you've moved seat. I'm like, I have not moved seat. I am where you told me to go.
Right there.
I was fuming. Absolutely fuming. I just don't like it when people lie to me. That's the thing. I'd have more respect for the guy if he'd have just said, oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah,
I've handed your food out.
Yeah.
Fine.
I've had my first belly rumble.
Oh no, can't talk about food now. Speaking of food, Carol Cupcake says Air 2000 repatriated us back from the USA when Intersun Air Europe went bust in 1991. That was a weird experience. Yeah, that was, I remember that happening actually, but it was, we actually went with Intersun to Mallorca. That was our first holiday. That was on a British Air Tours TriStar. GBEAL and GBEAL and GBeak, Carmarthen Bay, Cardigan Bay, and some wonderful person on some message board somewhere had the receipts on which aircraft had flown which flights on which day, and by inference, because I was away for 2 weeks, because we always went on 2 week holidays then, managed to work out exactly which aircraft flew us out, which one flew us back, because I had a picture of us stood in front of like one of them Harbour Airport at the bottom of the steps, but it was like the registration's literally just out of shot, so I never knew which way round it was. But yeah, that's credit to aviation geeks keeping fastidious records.
I wonder how many people in the chat have started their aviation career because of their first holiday abroad and going on an aircraft, because I think that's what was the catalyst for me. I remember it was about 87, so I was 7 years old. It was Orion Airways, a 737, 200, a night flight to Mallorca, and that's what did it for me, and then used to go to after that, my dad would take me to Manchester Airport, and being from Bolton, apologies if I'm going to offend anybody now, but we used to buy a slappy. You know what a slappy is?
I don't know what that is at all. No.
So, does anyone in the chat think they know what a slappy is? There's a question of the day.
Pause for 20 seconds.
Well, while we wait for that, our mod Chris Bebbs asks, he always wanted to be a pilot growing up as a kid. What would be your best advice for a younger generation to become a pilot nowadays?
Certainly. So, depending on their age, I'd certainly look at these new airline sponsorship programs, these academies, so British Airways, the Speedbird Academy. So that's the definite way that I would approach it now. If they're at school and college, get busy with your critical thinking, your creative skills, because when you do your aptitude test, that's what they're looking for, how you respond to challenges, what detail you can remember. So that's something that I would work on, as well as like your educational skills, like your math skills, your English skills, your language skills, but think about your creative thinking, your critical thinking.
Because that's one thing that like people often do, is just think about the academic side of things.
Yeah.
And because I remember, it was the reason why I went and did A-level maths and physics, because I was like, well, if I do those, then I can be a pilot.
That's it. Yeah.
And I started doing it. I know we were talking about this on Monday, and it was like, there was no way did I have the ability with maths to do either of those subjects. Because I just wasn't at that point. Now, I go on to university, and you have to do maths modules there, and things are explained differently to you.
Okay.
Things, that way that teachers explain stuff to students. This is what we were saying on Monday nights. Like maths for me at GCSE was literally the teacher, and he was a nice enough chap, would just write out a method on the board. You'd spend the first part of the lesson writing it out, and then you'd apply the method. And it's like, well, I don't understand why though. Why is it like that? And so for me, it was like, well, okay, so that's not going to work out now. So I was a little bit devastated about that, because I realised that I probably wasn't academic enough for those particular things. But I don't even know whether that is necessary, whether it's just what people always go to. I think is the point I'm making.
You've got like those traditional academic subjects, but as well, think of it being a pilot, you're like leadership skills, obviously business orientated skills, whatever decision you make, for example, like as the pilot flying, obviously affects the business as well, so you've got to have that, think about those skills as well. Obviously if there's training that you do to like overcome like difficulties, like having difficult conversations with pilots, like saying like obviously like let's say the captain doesn't do something that you see doing, it's approaching those difficult conversations. So it's again, it comes back to like those people skills which sometimes aren't taught in like the education, and it's something that you only learn and you develop through doing it, you experience it yourself. So that's one thing that I was quite proud of when I was teaching, was like bringing my industry skills to my curriculum and lessons and such, and like those students who took my lessons got a better grade because of how I applied like industry skills to the curriculum as such. And I think that's something that's sadly missing in the education as such, which I'd love more to happen. So going back to that question about like the what's needed for like pilots. So obviously that love of aviation, you've got to be with it. You've got to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do those flights. So you've got to be committed. As well as life throws you those challenges, your life takes you on that journey, and you might be in a relationship, and obviously you've got to then consider their opinions and their feelings when you're called out for like these 4 or 5 day trips away and things like that. So that can place a strain on like your family and like your relationships. So it's how do you navigate those. So think about what you want to do, have that journey, what you want to do, plan out how you want to do it. But like what happened to me, something could just happen one day and then that everything just changes. So then you've got to have that backup as well. You've got to be resilient enough to understand that.
Good evening, David 990. Good evening, Steve Carter. And Alex there as well. I also spied Louise Eckersall in the chat as well.
Oh, is she?
This is Ken.
Oh.
There you are, you've met Barbie.
As I say, presumably Barbie. Lufthansa lineup going to Frankfurt, DAILN, flight 947, A319. And we've got Ryanair from Barcelona on approach, EIENL. And it looks like the first heavy departure of the evening is coming up. Ethiopian is pinging, A350-900.
Excellent, excellent,
Start pushing back soon.
So do we have any answers about what Slappy is yet?
Evening Craig Walker is just settling in on the big TV with a bag of Maltesers. Rob D says, Slappy, is it a pasty or is it a pasty in a balm?
That's it, pasty in a balm.
There you go, well done, Rob D.
Pasty in a balm, wow.
So yeah, my dad would bring us, we'd go to like the local shop just before and get some 2 slappies, yeah, and then go plane spotting.
Oh, you learn something new every day. Hello, Naomi. Hello, Mike G.
Lufthansa 947 heading off to Frankfurt there. So we got the first of the evening heavies on base leg. We're with us in a couple of minutes from Abu Dhabi. It's a 787-10. I said 9 earlier. What questions did we have? Alexa said, what's the worst customer you've ever had?
I think when you get that worst customer, it's up to you to make it better for them. So I was that kind of person that would always try and make it better no matter what it was. Yeah. So yeah, I'd always try my best to make it better. I can't really remember any examples of any bad customers. I just remember some like arrogant people who think they like demanded everything. But they were flying an Air 2000. It was a charter airline. It wasn't like first class Speedbird Concorde service sort of a thing. So sometimes people's expectations, and I always used to say, like people were checking the common sense in the suitcases in the hold, because people seem to forget like simple, like logic and common sense when they're on an aircraft. Yeah, but yeah, and I can't really say that I had nasty people. You've got to be quick-witted in those circumstances, and you've got to have a tough skin to help deal with those situations when they arise. I think ground agents do an amazing job to try and settle those difficult conversations before the passengers get on the plane. So, big appreciation to like all the ground agents crew who do their best to make the flights go off successfully as well, because I can't imagine the amount of questions and inquiries they've got to deal with. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I was quite proud that I'd always try my best to whatever people's circumstances, because you don't know what journey they've been through to get to where they want to go. So you've just got to help them. You've just got to put yourself to one side and just help that person.
I think a lot of times as well, it's not aimed at you.
That's it.
Directly. It's like, they're taking it out on you, which is not great, but it's not necessarily because of you. It's something else has happened, and they're just having a bit of a naff day.
You might go to the back galley, close the curtains, and call that person. But yeah, that's
with the tan oil by accident. Whoops. So Lucas says, forgot to tell you, we just started to handle Brussels today. So sport.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, inside Brussels sprouts.
Brussels
That's
sprouts.
stinky, isn't it? Yeah, good evening to everybody. Sorry we've not said hello to all of you individually. Slightly different stream for us today. So if you've just joined us, we've got Ken with us. He's Aviation Ambassador for the Department of Transport.
Well, Peveril said, after all those years working for Air 2000, what's your favourite airline now? You don't have to answer if you don't want
right
to.
then.
Answer
well,
after Sun Express.
It would have to be Virgin Atlantic, only because. Yeah, I'll wait for this.
Sorry.
It's TC Sock and off to Antalya. Well, at least with that one, you know up front what sort of service you're going to get on board. It's going to be okay, as it says on the front.
Oh, for God's sake. You're
So
okay
yeah,
then.
so
Sorry, yeah.
no, don't be sorry. It's all right. Thank you. So Virgin Atlantic, I love the design, the ethos, the style. A personal story. I'm sure Louise won't mind saying this, but saving up for our wedding, we used club card, everything to like get Virgin flying points and stuff like that, and we ended up with enough points to get 2 like first class tickets with like Virgin Atlantic for our wedding. So Virgin will always have a special place in our heart. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
lovely.
And I think what Richard Branson's done with the airline when he started it and how it's progressed, yeah, I've got utmost respect for the airline. Yeah.
Jules C's said her daughter's flasher was definitely aimed at her.
Oh my God. Fraser Bain says, can Ken tell us more about the work he does, well, in the Department for Transport, but I think they mean just,
Yeah,
as aviation ambassador.
I'm a volunteer in my role as aviation ambassador. So my main job is my own business, like Flight Deck PC. So what I do as my volunteer as aviation ambassador, so schools, colleges, I can do like workshops, go into there. I've got like a mobile flight simulator, so it's a way to engage students, to inspire them at those ages where they are starting to make those decisions. So I can do like workshops with them, and just do talks with them. But then it's thinking about other people in society that may be like unemployed. So for example, like NEETs, for example, those not in education or training, is like what can I do to help those people be inspired and get a career in aviation? And then there's kids that can't go to school because of their disabilities, so it's providing a special provision for them as well. I'll just wait for this.
Here we go, first heavy arrival of the evening coming in from Abu Dhabi. Etihad Flight 75, A6 BMI. 787-10 Dreamliner.
BMI, baby.
What do you think its BMI is?
Oh, I got you now.
Oh, it's,
Well, it's an X,
45.
isn't it? So, yeah.
Over 30.
So this was a Dash 10.
Yeah, Dash 10.
Speaking of 10, we saw a Sun X depart as we rocked up on service.
To like inspiring people, so if you're happy for me to share a story, so one of my customers, so apologies, so Flight Deck PC is where you can learn to fly. I've created like a flight simulator as such. So one customer came with a family, and I do like 10-minute tasters, and then in that 10 minutes, she took off in a 787. But what makes that story special is that she was partially sighted, and she had Down syndrome, and she'd never even stepped aboard an aircraft. And for me, those are the powerful stories that makes aviation accessible to everybody, and that's what I'm here to do, to like inspire everybody with those careers in aviation, no matter what they can bring, their own personal story into aviation. And I think companies reward people who bring that level of their engagement and their stories into their work as such. So yeah, so she was a 19-year-old, and yet with my like assistance, being partially sighted, so I helped her. So I sat her in the seat, the 787 seat, and I got her to like feel the controls, so she knew, and then obviously I instructed her like what to do. And then in that time that we spent together, she'd like taxied the aircraft onto the runway, and that she took off in a 787, and it's those stories that will always stick with me. Another customer, 95 years old, comes every so often. Never got the chance to fly a Lancaster bomber, but he worked on a Lancaster bomber maintenance in the Second World War, and now every so often he can come to me, and he gets the opportunity to fly the Lancaster bomber. So it's those powerful moments that really stand out, and everybody that I meet shares those love of aviation and those stories.
Rob D said he always wanted to be an airport fireman, but his eyes let him down, unfortunately.
Okay.
Alexa said, thank you for asking the question. I'm also travel tourism with cabin crew training in September in college.
Well done.
Do you have any tips?
What people say, to what they've got to say, you might not agree with them. Anything that can make that flight special for them. You might see like some signs, you might see them like with like a birthday present in like the bag or something like that. So just be observant and just look for clues to help people make that flight better.
Good evening, Gwen Davies. She says her daughter is 24 and cabin crew with EasyJet, I think. It's EasyB, but I'm assuming that's EasyJet. Good evening, Wayne. Good evening, Nev.
Sorry, I just need to sort something out on the internet connection.
Got Ryanair lined up. That's heading off to Naples, EIHK, but we've got the Ethiopian A350-900 coming down Tango.
Right.
Good evening, Joe Barrett, and Sarah and Jerry B both saying amazing stories, Ken. Very much enjoying it. And now we get to enjoy our first heavy departure.
Yeah. Heading off to Addis Ababa via a quick stopover in Geneva. I don't usually get to say that.
Oh yeah.
ETAUB with flight 729 for Ethiopian A350-900.
Have you ever done a poll to find out like what everyone's favourite aircraft is? Because I think the 350-1000 is definitely up there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's actually the next question from Matt Rich. Says, what's your favourite aircraft? So,
it's a tie between a 7.5 and 7.6.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I turned us down in anticipation of the Ethiopian. Right, go on.
We're done now.
Oh, I'll turn you back down again. Although it'll probably sit here for a while, it sometimes does.
We have to sit here patiently waiting.
Yeah. So one thing that cabin crew might not realise.
He's turned the mic down.
Good evening, Jane Welsh, lady. Good evening, Gazza. Has been a member of the flight crew for 13 months. Good evening, Rob, Thierry, Mods and chat. Good evening to you. Here we go. Strange weather now where it's very dark and grey above us, and then there's that bright strip along the horizon.
Making you work for it today.
Yep.
Are we back on?
Yep.
Yeah, we're back on.
Sorry,
what was the answer to your the favourite plane question?
Yeah, so 757, 767. I think the favourite livery was the American Airlines silver one in the 767.
Yeah, polished
metal.
The
polished one.
Yeah.
I used to, when I used to go on holidays, I used to love going on the Chicago flight, like AA 55, 54 to Chicago. I love that aircraft and that livery.
And like back in the 90s, it used to say 767 luxury liner on the nose as well in red.
Yeah, but I think especially when you're just starting as cabin crew, you may, I don't know, things might have changed now, but you used to have the opportunity, like your first flight, or it used to be called like your supernumerary flight as cabin crew. You'd sit in the flight deck as well, flight takeoff and landings. So for like, I think my first flight on like the A320, A321 was like the Skiathos one. So obviously you have to land at Skiathos, but then take off to like go to Thessaloniki and then continue your flight. So just to get that experience of being in the cockpit as well for like your first flight is amazing.
We've seen quite a few times actually where there's someone sat in the jump seat.
Oh, in the jump seat, yeah.
And it's usually them giving us a wave. It's very hard to see obviously on the screen because it's quite dark. But yeah, they're like giving us a good wave, and we've had one with I think it was the AirTanker crew where the person that was in the jump seat, it was their first flight as cabin crew. So presumably Jet2 do the same thing.
Yeah. You might get like training captains in there doing like the checks on like the crew as well, like their yearly checks. Yeah, so that jump seat's quite busy.
It is surprising actually how many you see. I think as well, especially maybe not so much now, but certainly sort of late winter into spring. There seems to be quite a lot, and I guess it's probably quite a good time to do stuff like that. Is there a seasonality to any of that kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, most like cabin crew training's done like the winter months, because obviously what would normally happen is, again it might be different now, but airlines would tend to employ seasonal crew for like the summer months, and then if you were successful you'd then stay on as like full time and like work through like the winter months. Obviously the flying schedule's different, so yeah, training would normally be done in like the winter months. For our airline, a lot of the training would be done like in the hangars near the cargo centre, a lot of the buildings over there, and then you'd have to go down to Gatwick to do like your fire and smoke training. So that they were always fun. But those coach rides weren't always fun though. Those 3-4 hour coach rides.
Gatwick.
Yeah, to Gatwick. Especially as well if you just come inbound from like a night Cancun flight into Gatwick, and then you had to get a coach back up to Manchester. So that's that's not the glamorous side of cabin crew.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's miserable, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
That is miserable.
We'd always used to try and speak to the driver and see if they'd pay extra and go on the toll and stuff like that. Yeah, just to make it a bit more bearable. Yeah.
Naomi's got a question for you. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer it though. It's she says Virgin Atlantic's VNRB A350-1000, aka Purple Rain, was it named after the fact, or had it been named Purple Rain anyway? Like, was there a specific?
I think we'd reach out to Virgin. For that.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not sure
Yeah,
that's your
I
your
don't
bag.
want to
but
say something that's not true. Yeah.
I think with Virgin anyway. I think a lot
It
of them
would
are
make sense,
specifically,
wouldn't it?
yeah,
it
for
would
the
make
reg.
sense.
Next arrival is going to be Ryanair from Faro. Lined up, we'll have a quick drink.
So, what was your first flight experience, Thierry?
Just as he takes a swig.
Mine. So I didn't. Well, I mean, I just technically grew up near Luton, I suppose. So, my first experience with a plane was 2013, 2014. Was the first time I flew, and I can't remember. I was in my early 20s anyway. It was EasyJet from. I think we went from Luton. It was either Luton or Stansted, maybe. To Amsterdam, and I cried the whole way because I was
Wow.
petrified. Cabin crew didn't pay any attention to me whatsoever. My friend Kat, she was one of those people that could just get on a plane, sit down, and go to sleep,
Yeah.
and then wake up when it arrives. Whereas I was just like,
Well, here's a tip for all new parents who've got babies on planes.
It's funny you say that. There is a chap, wasn't there? Was it Monday night? Saying that he was taking his
Going to Punta Cana.
Oh, okay.
16-month-year-old.
Was it Cancun? I can't remember.
So obviously, with the altitude changes, ask the cabin crew if they've got plastic cups, and what you do is put the 2 cups over the baby's ears.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it stops. It equalises like the pressure. Seriously,
That's good. Would that work on adults as well?
I mean,
it might do. Yeah.
I assume you don't keep them there for 9 hours.
No, just for like when you're going up and coming down.
Right.
You might want to as a parent. You might just
Okay.
for the see what
So-
Instagram pictures you might get
because
from it.
on that
Because
basis,
by 10,000 feet they're pressurised,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're past that.
on that basis,
There you
then
go,
would
top tip.
over-ear headphones help? Maybe not completely, but
Yeah,
'cause
you'd think. Yeah.
surely that would help. I mean, obviously they wouldn't
That-
completely do it, but
Maybe not an airtight seal.
Well, there you go. There's a budget approach anyway.
Yeah.
Spending like £300, £500 on some noise cancelling headphones, just gets 2 plastic cups.
I would highly recommend noise cancelling headphones on a plane. They are
Oh yeah, absolutely.
a
Yeah.
lifesaver. Airtight seal. That sounds like a late 90s airline, doesn't it? Airtight seal.
It sounds like a really bad band name. Darren says the Delta widget livery is one of the best
Oh,
on the
yeah.
757
Yeah.
and 767. Yep, absolutely.
I think that on the TriStar was a great livery, wasn't it?
It was always parked at the gate right at the end, next to between Pier C and Pier B. Always used to park there when we were there on a Saturday, and we were always looking down at the Delta TriStar.
Nicola, the Virgin Oracle, says, my understanding is that Virgin Atlantic named the plane in relation to the reg. Like they get an available reg and then they take those letters and create the aircraft name from it. Which would make sense. We've said that before, haven't we, about certain reg. I can't remember which one. There's ones where we're like, how's no one picked that yet? Or, you sort of...
Oh, like EIEIO?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times the private jets are quite cool, like DeCops and DeArmy.
They're brilliant.
Those ones are quite cool. Decoin.
Spat,
yeah. Spook. Yeah.
That's another good one.
Yeah, I like those. Or, people like us just make them up. Like
Yeah.
Jesus, EasyJet, Jesus. Guzzler.
Nev's first flight was from Blackpool to the Isle of Man in 1973.
Oh,
and
that was a good
what
flight.
was that on,
Yeah.
Nev? Do you remember? That was cracking.
Even in Oli
I used to do, so like in the winter times, we used to do flights, and I used to describe it as taking the Blackpool landlord ladies on their holidays. So the blue rinsers, yeah. So it would be. So you take off from Manchester, you land at Blackpool. So it was like a 5-minute flight up and down sort of a thing. So you'd land at Blackpool. You'd stay in like the hotel, one of the hotels along the front, and then you do like your Blackpool Reyes, that sort of like the definite like Blackpool like landlady holidays. Yeah. So they were always a good short flight. Those Manchester to Blackpool.
All taking the pesetas over to Spain back in the day.
Yeah.
Speaking of Blackpool, Mr. Bear's partners on one of the Ryanairs. I'm guessing it's possibly that one, or is it the Buzz one? He said 1855, so it could be either of these two departing now. Keep an eye out for that, Mr. Bear. If you're around, do let us know which one it is. I mean, I'll catch them both, but...
Fraser Barnes said, have you guys been to the Air Tattoo at Fairford? I've not been to an air show since they were at Woodford. So that was a long time ago now. Given that Woodford now no longer exists. Yeah. He said it's what got him into aviation since 2007, going there though.
Oh wow, that's a great story.
There's a collie with a massive trunk
stick.
of a tree.
So proud. My stick.
I've got this.
It's like I can't tell if it's trying to get in front of the humans, but it's aware the stick's quite big.
Rounding him up, isn't he?
It's like, come
Yeah,
on.
like the sheep.
Oh, brilliant. So we've got EasyJet, the Buzz Ryanair in the background, and another Ryanair.
777 inbound though. That's going to be with us.
Yeah.
It's at Dane at the moment, or just inbound to Dane. I've not done my little Dane thing today. I've not done anything. Have I even got the runway right? I've not. Dane, there we go.
Should I do my pointless quiz?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So we'll do one question at a time, I reckon.
You have to be quick. This is a turn and burn.
Pointless quiz.
So question 1. So name an aviation job that most people don't realise exists.
Oh. Come on, let's have some guesses in the chat.
Do you want to write as a pinned comment? Or? Oh, Collie's abandoned the stick. It's now doing the line down, waiting for it to be thrown. Next go is Ryanair to Budapest. Okay, Mr. Bear's on the Poland flight, which is the one behind.
Oh, the Buzz.
Yes. Oh, so ignore that one. I'll stick with the Buzz. Oh, apology. No, his partner is his best friend. Oh, you never know. Just trying to make romance happen.
Nicola says flaperon cleaner. Okay. TJ Atkins says that person who puts the food on the planes.
Okay, yeah. I'm surprised there's not a power wash simulator of like dirty aircraft and the flaps. That'd be a good add-on, wouldn't it?
I would pay to do that job.
I'm sure there'll be a developer out there who can listen in on those ideas. Yeah. So here we
de-icing spray refiller.
Yeah. I tell you, so here's a good story. But well, it's not good, but it's interesting. So we did on holiday. We went to Helsinki in like December time. And whereas airports over here, you'd be like one truck that de-ice all the planes and go to them individually. But at Helsinki, it was almost like a drive-through.
Yeah.
All the planes would like park up.
We've said
after-
that before. There should be a plane car wash.
Brilliant experience.
Yeah.
So
It's like that at Toronto
is
as
it?
well. Yeah. Like
yeah.
a lot of those kind of airports where it's like regular
That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah. But anyway, got distracted there. Yeah. So
Sorry.
a de-icer operative. So airside operations, a stand planner.
A stand planner,
Yeah.
like which
Which
flights
gate they're
going
going to go to? Yeah. Flight dispatcher, load masters. Yeah. So think about like the skills that those careers need. Yeah. And then see if you can transfer any of your skills into those jobs. Yeah.
I'd boss cabin crew
Would
and
you?
customer service. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did customer service back in the day.
Look at these chihuahuas.
All right, here goes Mr. Bear's Buzz. There's Bezzy on board.
Nicola said that her mum just gave her a pile of programs from Mother Air Show the other week. She used to love it. It was the first and only time she's seen a Vulcan. I was very lucky to catch the farewell flights of the Vulcan.
Oh wow.
I happened to be. It was a weekend where I was visiting some friends in Birmingham,
Yeah.
and I kicked myself because I missed the Saturday up here when it was doing the northern leg, but realised that if we went down to the airfield at Gaydon, they were at, which was just outside Birmingham, that they were going to fly past that, so they got to see the Vulcan with me. It was excellent. But I'm digressing because Matt Rich says, "Hi Ken, I work for Airbus in Toulouse. Been with the company for 21 years now. Also worked in Broughton Wing Plant and Hamburg. Went to college when I was 16. Didn't end up at Airbus until I was 21. I was very indecisive between my mid to late teens, but had always been interested in aircraft and aviation in general. I've worked on all Airbus programs in various roles."
Well
there you
done.
go. Living the Airbus dream. Matt Rich Data.
I mean, it's great to hear that he's had that career for such a long time as well, and you do find that like when you're in that career that you love and you're that passionate, then you stay there for a long time and you meet great people and you build relationships over time. But it's a fantastic opportunity for anyone to consider, whether it's a career change later in the life. But certainly aviation is one of those industries where you've got so many different skills that are needed. And you think about an airport the size of like a city, like all the jobs that keep it running. You could probably describe about like 100 or so jobs, like to what got that aircraft ready for takeoff.
That's the thing that always amazes me. Whenever we go on a flight, it's all of the things that have had to happen in order for us to be boarding this flight now.
Yeah.
All the things that people have had to do, all the things that have not gone wrong in order for it to work.
It's like the developer who's had to create the website for the booking, the graphic designer.
Shout out.
Yeah, so it's all those different careers, isn't it?
Sorry, Mr. Bear, they said that they were actually on the Ryanair that I ignored.
Oh no!
I blame AirNav for that because the label's the wrong way round.
We have got the 777 on the glide slope now.
Andy D, good evening, says Manchester has two de-icing pads called Maverick and Iceman. They just don't use them though, but both exist on the airfield.
Yeah, I've seen them on the airfield map. Maverick and Iceman.
Logan
Who
F.
came up with them names? Ollie says the technician who has to fix and maintain the supercomputer on the A380. T-brake monitor? Is that a thing? Don't know. Toilet engineer, seat repair and replacement persons, window cleaner, toilet cleaners. We've got a few.
Cabin crew.
In-flight window cleaners are the worst though.
In-flight window cleaners. Well, if it's the outside, that's a terrible job.
People who clean and iron the uniforms. Unless
yeah,
you
yeah.
do it yourself. Maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
Looks like we've got the Swiss A220 taxi now, I think.
Swookie.
So, that was Logan Air from Southampton that arrived in the background. And the lovely Francis Waite has gifted 10 flight memberships. Read them out after Easy's gone.
Spooling up now.
Of course, the other thing as well is it's not just the airlines or the airports; it's the people who test and design and develop the aircraft in the first place as well, and all those jobs and careers that you can. I mean, obviously, probably a bit more difficult in the UK, I suppose, but you know, if you want to go around and test how much pressure an aircraft tyre requires,
yeah,
or how bendy a wing is.
Yeah, line maintenance. I mean, some of those YouTube videos, some of those YouTube channels on those are fantastic to watch.
Documentaries.
Yeah. Thank you so much for those gifted memberships, Francis. They went to Ollie Ollie Ollie. He's in the chat. Excellent. Oh my word. J.O. Tiran Jan Shahu. I can't say that. Tanya for Ice. Villa Delats. Jay's first YouTube. Connor, Dave Kane, Nicole Peters, Wayne Walters, Jordan Ladley, and I'm done.
Thank you very much, Francis. Right, Emirates 777 is just gone over Stockport. I think I might just about have time for the A220 that's taxiing out. So,
sorry about the squeaky chair.
second Wookiee attempt. Actually, the wind is still against us, but you never know.
Heading back to Zurich, Flight 381 for Swiss, HB JCP, A22300.
It's going to wait for the arrivals, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Emirates have sadly reverted back to 3 777s for June from promising us an A350 1000 for a while. Or was it a 900? I can't remember now. Emirates Flight 19 coming in from Dubai now, A6 ENQ 777 300ER.
The big 777 and the baby 777. Or is it? Oh no, it's the E195, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very quiet Wookiee again.
Yes, the wind is not helping. CJ says, there's a good question. Who cuts the grass at Manchester Airport? We've seen them a few times actually, and I imagine it's the same ops crew that clear the snow and various things like that, because I think are they parts over there, the tractors?
They are,
Yeah, they are.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically what you can see in there. Snow
That's it,
plows.
if you love gardening, you've not got a bigger garden, have you?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
And you can take your vape with you as well, apparently.
it's not just the tractors. There's the
I'm gonna move my
the
chair.
road sweeper as well. There's the people clean the lights. There's all the people that we saw at was it last summer, doing all the lighting cables.
Yeah, all those like so many engineering jobs.
Yeah.
Of course, you've then got I know not necessarily strictly aviation, but you've got all sort of the nearby things, haven't you? Like the retail, the hotels,
That's it.
all the services and stuff that are all nearby. So even if you can't necessarily do a job specifically with an aircraft, you can still be close by and
That's
go and watch them on your lunch break.
And again, it might develop that you then get a job in the aviation once you've got that experience of like those customer-facing skills, like working in a hotel, for example.
It's a bit like when I got into motorsport. I was just doing loads of stuff outside on my own, and it got noticed by some teams, and then I got
Okay.
approached about doing work for them, and ended up getting a job that way. There's another one that just went past airport security.
So we're ready for question 2.
Go for it. Yes.
So which aviation role do you think has the most pressure during a turnaround?
Have a think about it. It's like your planes.
It feels like I don't know. It feels like either the crew, because they've got to check all the aircraft and everything and make sure everybody's on, they've got the right weight, etc., or someone like cleaners clearing all the rubbish off, going through the seats.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on certain airlines, I mean, I know suggestions that some airlines don't even bother doing that, but
Yeah.
not mentioning the one in picture, but you know.
So you've got jobs like dispatcher, ground crew, air traffic control, engineers, a turnaround coordinator. Yeah.
I suppose that it's one of those jobs that's quite stressful at times, because if you've got an aircraft that's delayed for whatever reason, someone's not on it, or it's got a technical problem, or got to pull someone's bag off or something, but you're responsible for getting it going as soon as possible. But you can't. It's one of those ones where you can't always necessarily actually get it going any quicker, but you've got to be able to speak to the right people and be like, right, I've spoken blah blah blah, and they've said this, and I need you to do this so that we're ready when they're ready to go, kind of thing.
So think of the skills needed for that coordination, like that mental agility, people skills again.
Qatar on the glide slope. We did have a few bits of input in the chat on that one. Baggage handler, an aircraft cleaner. These are the people most under pressure. ATC. Baggage handlers, getting the cases off them back on. Matt Richards says dispatcher, I would say to enable the on-time departure at the end of the process. Yeah.
I think it'd be nice as well the next time you get off a flight, just say like thank you to those people as you're walking back up the gate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Up the tunnel. Yeah.
Thank you for dispatching me on time.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your accurate load sheet.
Or even just a smile and hello as
That's
you go
it.
past when you're
That's
boarding or
it.
something.
Yeah.
If it hurts, does it?
I'm going to have to get a new chair, aren't I?
Yeah. So, Ken, if you could go back to the start of your career with what you know now, what would you do differently in terms of aviation?
I wouldn't change it, but obviously if I had the opportunity to be a pilot, then yeah, I'd take that opportunity. But yeah, I wouldn't change what I've done. Thank you, yeah.
I think one of the things for me that if I could go back, I wouldn't necessarily change what I'd done, but I'd change. I would, if I could have the confidence I have now, then in what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because there was like, so I pretty much ruled out like becoming a pilot,
Yeah.
but maybe going into ATC or going into something else like that I could have done. Just having the confidence to have given it a go. I think that, I'm not saying like the fake it till you make it thing, but certainly the jumping in and having the confidence to push forward and give it everything even if it doesn't work, is what I would probably change.
Yeah, and I think that's unfortunately something that certainly young people just don't have, is it? And it takes the time it takes to have that confidence. I mean, some people obviously do.
What I always made sure of when I was like teaching lessons is just to try and expand those learners' like peripheral vision, because they grow up and they'll hear stories of their own family and what jobs they do, and sometimes when you're at that age you're just only accustomed to what you know, and sometimes it takes people like teachers and other skilled people to like broaden people's just open those blinkers out, isn't it, and to inspire those people into different careers that they might not have even considered, because they only know like what the family's done, like the generations of fathers and stuff like that have done a certain career, and it's expected of them to do the same and things like that. Yeah.
No, absolutely, and I think that kind of class, or that sort of class barrier to things can be. I don't think it's as. To say it's not as much of a thing now, it's probably a bit arrogant to say that. It probably is to some people, but for me, being younger, it definitely felt like there was more of that.
Well, that leads us on to a question from Drew Stanaway and Communicator. They say, what's the most affordable way to fund training on becoming a commercial pilot? I'm not sure you had the answer, but...
I mean, look around for the different flying schools. That would be where you'd start with like your private pilot's license, simulator usage as well. Simulated hours counts towards those 99 hours as well. So that's a good balance of getting started with your private pilot's license. But yeah, I think nowadays it's the approach of what are the airlines doing to acknowledge that gap between the huge cost of training. So I think what airlines are doing now is far better than what it used to be, like in our era growing up as such, like with the Speedbird Academy. I was watching one about Wizz Air, how they do like an academy, and to give young people that opportunity now, I think is fantastic, where back like 20-30 years ago that didn't exist, and you had to pay like the hundreds of thousands of pounds to become like your commercial airline pilot. So start small, develop your skills like at home, like use like flight simulator at home and things like that to refine your skills. Is like academies like Navigraph that can help refine your flying skills, your navigation skills. So look at those opportunities. I would love as well to be able to offer like a qualification in like aviation. That's something that's sadly like not as available. I mean, there's travel and tourism, and there's cabin crew specific training, but an actual like avionics qualification and an aviation qualification. That's something that I'm looking to explore with what I'm currently doing at the moment. But yeah, the more people that are engaged in wanting to be a pilot and other careers in aviation, I think airlines are doing a great job now in getting those barriers removed in terms of pay, because if you come from like a working class background, like, and you might be like a single parent, for example, and then like their child wants to say, oh, I won't be a pilot. Like, what does a parent have to do to make that work and things like that? So yeah, it's you've got to be determined, and you've got to have that consistent mentality and that resilience. And if it's something that anyone wants to do, then just go ahead and do it. Don't let people take you down, say, oh, you can't do that. I've always been that kind of person. If someone tells me, no, I can't do that, and I'm like, why? And then I'll make it that I have to do it then.
I'd say that's kind of our mentality as well, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah.
Certainly for me anyway, like, you know, if I look at a piece of design or something, I'm like, how have you done that? And then that's the drive. Is like, I need to figure out how this is done, or how would I recreate it or something.
Brilliant.
So then I can try and not necessarily do it, but just, you know what I mean, like that mental thing of, I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to find out kind of
that's
thing.
It.
Yeah. And it's one of the, I'll just let this Ryanair go before I carry on. Ryanair 2898 to Venice, a Max 8, IJK.
Evening, Mr. Walls. Evening, Bradford Aviation.
Yeah, it's like Thierry was saying, it was one of the things that, like for us with just doing this with live streaming, I mean, he loves problem solving, I love problem solving, and we'll quite often get to a point where, or we have done over the past couple of years, where we've been trying to achieve something, trying to do something the way that we want to do it, and it's like, there isn't anything there for that, so you've got to like try and figure out how to do it, how to put it together yourself.
Yeah.
And how to make it work.
The other thing I was going to say about like training and stuff is potentially like sidestep. So you know, getting involved with like Royal Air Force or something.
And
like doing
like the cadets program and things like
doing
that.
stuff like that, getting that kind of experience, and then stepping over to like a commercial side. Or you know, if you can't get with an airline in the UK, can you try Air France or Sun Express?
No.
no, we don't take you.
It's one of the difficult things as well when you... I'm so sorry about the squeaky chair. It's so annoying. I am gonna shove this in the bin. One of the things when you're like deciding what to do with GCSEs, A levels, that kind of stuff, you don't really know where you want to go and what. You have kind of an idea, but I mean some people do. But like for me, for example, I got a decent grade at GCSE German, so I was like, oh, I'll do German A level.
Okay.
It's like, well, I don't particularly like going meeting people that I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not like some recluse or anything, but I didn't acknowledge of myself at the time that if I want to be able to learn German properly, I'm going to have to go to Germany. I'm going to have to go and live over there. I'm going to have to do things that are very, very much outside my comfort zone. So by the time I started doing like exchanges at college to Munich, I was like, there's no way that I want to do this. This is like not my thing at all. I just think things like learning languages are so they are so very specific that if you're not that kind of person yourself, you're probably never going to be that person, or you're never going to. Like, because to learn a language, you've got to love talking to people.
Yeah,
You've got to love. Yeah.
And I think what's good learning a language nowadays is you put yourself in someone else's shoes, aren't you? Things from a different perspective. Yeah.
I mean, on that topic, this is more education related, but you know, when you're in school, well, certainly in my day, you had to do a language, and in between year 9 or year 10, I can't remember, you had to do 2 languages, and you drop one, and you had to do science, and you have to do maths. It's like, which is fine, but if you're not really into those, it it can have a bit of a mental effect on you, because you think, well, I'm rubbish at everything.
Yeah.
Whereas you're just not specifically interested in doing those things that you sort of have to do.
And I think if you've got a great teacher who can help you overcome those that confidence in, like you say, like if you're lacking those particular skills or you're not enjoying it, then the emphasis then is the teacher to make it work for that learner. Yeah.
Like for me, going through college and university, even at that kind of time, going into computer science degrees, which I started and famously dropped out of as a fully qualified university dropout, it was very maths heavy, and it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the elements of that kind of what I enjoyed when I went to uni to do that kind of stuff was actually the database side of things, which isn't really to do with maths at all. So I think sometimes we just tend to over-index on that kind of stuff specifically, and then because I was like at school, I was a right swot. I was in the top of the class for the top set for everything, but I wasn't at the top of the top. I wasn't at the top of the top set by any stretch.
See, I was the opposite. I was middling on pretty much everything. I was basically ignored by teachers because I wasn't smart, so I wasn't like got to win awards or anything for the school, but I also wasn't disruptive or a pain in the butt, so therefore I didn't get attention from that. So it was just kind of like you were just ignored, and in that middle bit when no one ever really bothered with you that much.
And that's one of the things that I found frustrating, like teaching computing, because I did for 5 years as such, is yes, I'm doing a curriculum and I know I've got to do it, but in my first job in like IT, none of this I never needed to know. So why aren't we teaching students like how to answer a phone call for like stage 1 help desk and things like that? Like that, what would be like their first IT role, for example. So that's something that I would bring in, like because with like my industry experience and stuff, into those lessons. And I think the more teachers that can do that will then set those learners up for success.
Yeah, the people skills are just hugely overlooked.
Yeah.
Because when you go into work, I mean, I was talking about this actually because we're doing some stuff at work at the moment to recruit people, and I've done this before at other companies I've worked at, but recruit people based on aptitude, not just because they have done the job that you're looking for. Because we'd quite often recruit people at the company I was working for about 15 years ago, where they'd used a specific system. They'd worked in the kind of resource planning area in contact centres, so that's like making sure there's enough bums on seats to answer calls and things. They'd done all that, they'd used a particular piece of software, and it's like, okay, you've got that experience, you know how to turn the handle, so come in and do it. And they'd turn out to be just like some person that annoyed everybody, or, just with horrific, just... they've got all this experience, but they don't know how to actually like change anything to improve it, or they can turn a handle, but if the handle breaks, they don't know how to fix
That's
the
it,
handle,
yeah.
and so recruiting people based on aptitude that can rebuild the handle is the thing that I think sometimes gets overlooked.
Yeah, yeah. And that was like what I was going back to, like at the beginning, like that critical thinking, that creative thinking, like looking at solutions out of the box, and yeah, those are skills that industry needs.
But it's things that you don't get from education necessarily. Is like listening to a group of people about what all the problems are at work or whatever, and trying to come up with solutions that actually work for the people that are there. Because quite often, sometimes the objectives of what two people want are contradictory.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one thing that I love doing, especially like the year 10 options and like the college years, was instead of like a traditional lesson, I would get the class into like groups, and the group would have to like vote who would be like the CEO, who would be like the chief financial officer, and then together they then have to work on a solution to like a problem that they'd have to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think was far more valuable than asking them like what like the what is the 4th P of product marketing and things like that. And so it's those people skills and like those skills that are needed in industry that is we need more of in like the curriculum. Yeah. So yeah, I think going on for a next pointless quiz. So, what aviation role do you think young people hear about the least?
Behind the scenes kind of roles, what things exist in the background.
There's thousands of roles that nobody gets to see when they're boarding the plane for the holidays.
Good evening, Tiana. Good evening, Simple Planes with Henry. Evening, Michael Thomas. Evening, Kitty D as well. Lovely to see you. 9 likes away from 500. Thank you very much, everyone. This
Oh, thank you so much.
link's been floating a little bit. And it's down.
Oh, that was a bit wobbly, wasn't it? Just
Nicholas says, talk of underestimated skills. A friend is a driving test examiner. She said a lot of students don't know how to actually start a car because they've only ever got in one when it's running.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Mark Jackson says, can you turn the mic up, please? It sounds like you're sat in the back of a car.
Yeah, I've turned it up a little bit.
Oh.
I can't turn it up anymore because of the plane engines. Evening, it's gone. Ben Purvis from Jersey. Evening, Reese.
Nicola says the bird chaser off car. I would say like somebody doing the kind of job that I do for call centres.
Okay.
Like not necessarily just the rostering, but the thing that like because you know, like when you used to go to a travel agent, there'd be a holiday on the board. You'd always think about, oh well, somebody's like booked that flight and that hotel and put it together. I mean, obviously it's not quite as specific as that, but it always appeared like that. But yeah, just all that work that has to go on in the background to like book the rooms in the hotels, to have them ready.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
for to match them up to the flights to the people coming in. And
Can
When you do
I
think
can I
about
shout
it-
out marketing? Whoop whoop. Design and marketing.
Has anyone in the chat seen a documentary, Living in the Age of Airplane? Came out, I think, 2015. It's one of the great documentaries that I think never really got as much publicity. But if anyone gets the opportunity to watch it, it just highlights like of when humans came on the Earth, let's say 200,000 years ago. But it's only in the last 100 years that we've gone like supersonic.
Yeah.
And it's a great documentary to watch. Yeah, I don't know if you like into film music, but like music by James Horner, the late great James Horner,
Oh, nice.
who sadly died in a private plane crash. But yeah, so if anyone gets the opportunity to watch that documentary, I'd heartily recommend it.
I don't think I've seen that, so I'll look that up.
Okay.
We've got semi-naked Eurowings touching down.
So going back to my pointless answers.
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
So let's have a look. So think about young people hear about the lease. So I'd say dispatch, airport operations, ramp planning, aircraft engineering, and I think everybody's favourite, safety and compliance. Yeah, without safety, yeah, there'd be lots of things going wrong, wouldn't there? Yeah.
Like the safety and compliance officer we see driving around.
That's it. That was good timing. Yeah, he knew about it.
Oh, sorry, Olivia. She says Rob and his squeaky chair. Honestly, I'm
Babs
gonna
was asking for an emoji for the squeaky
the
chair.
squeaky chair. It's gonna go in the bin.
Would you like this chair donated to you after?
No,
really short?
no, because believe it or not, I'm fairly stout, and yeah, I need a reinforced chair.
Oh, okay.
Thierry, stop glaring at me. I'm just gonna stand up. I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stand up. Can I balance an iPad there? Probably not. There we go.
SAS to Copenhagen, EISIH, lining up, flight 542, A320 Neo. Just as the sun comes back out after being tucked behind a cloud for a bit.
SAS with the red engines.
Evening JPW Smith. Evening G Taylor Art. Jerry Bay was asked what the name of that dock was. Can we put it in the chat?
Living in the Age of Airplanes.
Living in the Age of Airplanes. Do you know where it's available?
I'm guessing like iTunes.
Okay.
Yeah, purchase it from there. Yeah.
Oh, probably on YouTube as well. Probably been ripped to put on there.
Sarah said, please repeat the name, didn't she? I think I put it in the chat.
G Taylor asks, how many runways does Manchester Airport have? It has 2.
2.
And this one's lined up on the second one.
So I was asked earlier.
Sorry.
I was asked earlier in the chat what my favourite airline is. So I'd like to hear what everybody in the chat what their favourite airline is, what past or present.
Down there.
In terms of flying with or just in general?
In general, yeah. Whether it was the livery that caught people's attention or like an experience that they had.
I'd say, well, I've kind of got 3, I guess. I'd say my favourite's probably KLM because I like
The smile.
Yeah, I like the smirky face that you can see on the plane. I like the heavy E2s. I like the blue. They're also quite iconic as well. Jet 2 to fly on, but then I've not really flown on many, so that's a bit probably a bit misleading. And I'd also have to give a shout out to EasyJet because they do wave the most.
Do they?
Oh,
all
they
the
do.
crews, yeah. So
Top of the wave.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got about another 20 minutes of dual runway ops here at Manchester. We'll be switching over to singles. We're not going to be staying super late this evening.
I'll say, should we aim for switch over?
Yeah.
About
I think we'll give it
15,
about
20 minutes.
another 20 minutes or so. Carl Smith said, talking about aptitude, I left school with minimal qualifications but passed the RAF aptitude test and served as a supplier. Now aged 59, I work in logistics for Martin Baker rejector seat manufacturer. Excellent.
Thank
there
you.
you go.
Yeah.
What a
Brilliant.
journey. Anyone get any more? Anyone else work in aviation in the chat? You want to share what you've done?
Welcome to Flight Crew Reese. I've lost my chart. Yes, welcome to Flight Crew Reese. JPW Smith's been a member of the Flight Crew for 8 months. Thank you very much. And the lovely Miss Wolves has also been a member of the Flight Crew for 8 months as well.
So when I think about, like, back to that first flight for me, it wasn't first flight. The first flight was the TriStar to Palma,
Yeah.
but I was only 6 then. So I'd be 10 when we went on the Down Air 111 as well,
Okay.
accounting. But around that time, my mum did used to take us to Woodford Air Show, so it wasn't that alone. I don't think we'd been probably doing that, and I remember we definitely went in 88 and 18 and 90, I think, because I can see the posters that I used to have on my wall in my mind's eye still.
Did you used to collect the models as well? What they used to sell on the aircraft? And,
Yeah. I had loads of those. I sold them off actually on eBay a few years back when I was just decluttering. I had loads of stuff though. They're only the plastic models, but
I think they're the best
they
ones,
would
though,
have
aren't
been-
they?
Yeah, I mean, like some of them, it would have been good to have kept, but c'est la vie. Sometimes you just got to declutter.
So we've, Donald Edge says one way to learn to fly and get paid whilst doing it is the military. Learned to fly helicopters in the army, and then after leaving some companies will. I'm not sure what that means, but I think it means once you've done the military, then you're more appealing to private companies.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, yeah, and
Evening Hasselhoff Morg. So their favourite is Jet 2. Nicholas is Virgin Atlantic.
noisy right now arrive.
Coming in from Milan, 9HQFA.
And-
Steve Carter says XL Airways for me. The whole
Oh, wow.
experience
Oh
was
yeah,
great.
that's a name from the past.
That's going back. Andy D says Pan Am, Peter Longworth,
Oh,
Britannia
yeah.
Airways,
Yeah.
great livery. Oh, the blue stripy one, can't beat it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the flight crew, Reese Keenan as well, and JPW's. Have you already read them out? Oh, sorry. We always do that. What about Gefro Solo? Have you read that out?
Nope.
No. Thank you for the memberships, Gefro.
Thank you.
They've gone to G. Taylor Arts, Deck Reed, Paul Dunn, David Brown, and Sentinai, I think that is. Jackie Hewitt says they always liked Flyby. They were really good with special assistance when she travelled with a late mum, including transferring us to the Onward Gate in Aberdeen when we flew in from Orkney. Oh.
There's another shout out
That's
to
a
people.
definitely shout out. Yeah.
People handle like getting the people with disabilities on board.
Oh yeah, no,
I remember
absolutely.
we see them quite often in Forteventura with the yellow.
Yeah, the special assistance
Polo shirt
truck
on.
and
I think we're on single ops already, aren't we? Because there's a Ryanair down at the bottom 2-3 right.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'll press the button. Reese said, just became a member of my favourite airlines, first choice Airways.
Hey.
Jerry B likes the British Airways Landor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
G. Taylor Art said the classic SAS livery from the 60s and 70s was nice. That's... Oh, do you mean the one with like the stripes under the like the forward fuselage? That was one of my favourites.
We have a special SAS one in.
Yeah, that's an earlier one.
Oh,
there.
okay.
But it might be the one that they're referring to, because I'm talking about the one from the 80s, 90s, where it was like a blue tail with white writing on, and just the stripes of the flags on the underside of the fuselage. When David says, what about the Freddie Laker planes? Yes, absolutely, the DC-10s. They were good. And Denise Catterall always chooses to fly Jet 2. Yvonne says, can you remember Air 2000? We know you can.
Oh, yeah.
Aishra Vassani says, hello, I'm 17 years old and I want to become a pilot in the future. I was interested in aviation since I was young and think it's a good sector for me. How can I work towards being a pilot? This is kind of some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, wasn't it? About making sure that you've got the right skills and things.
Yeah, so don't just think about like the academic skills that you might be choosing, like whether that's maths, physics, electronics. Think about like those personal skills as well. Think about like the problem solving skills, like the business related skills that you're going to need to develop, because you're going to be making those decisions on quite an active day. So just think about those opportunities. Like
I'd also suggest, was it 17? Get a job in something like retail.
Yeah,
because
get the customer service.
You deal with so many different types of people, whether
Yeah.
it's senior people to you, or if it's customers or whatever, and you build up those kind of interpersonal
That's
skills
it,
and learn
yeah.
how to deal with people and stuff. That's always
And then
something you can't learn
Yeah.
unless you've gone through it
And then
yourself.
put a percentage of that salary away for like your flying lessons.
Like
Yeah,
100% of it.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've got like my contact details. I'm happy to continue these conversations, like through my own social channels and things like that. So yeah, if you've got a school or a college, if you want to reach out to me, please do. I'm happy to talk to anybody about inspiring people to get that career in aviation, what steps they need to do, what they need to overcome, what they need to think about, what they need to get prepared for. So yeah, it's just to like help people and inspire people as much as possible. And anybody, that's what's great about aviation, that accessibility in the industry.
It's a tiny little whippet going
I know.
past. Oh, are you looking at me? Yes,
It's
we
quite
are.
cold. I'm not sure that's a whip, is it? It's very
Is it?
small. Might be a cross.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I have Fats with us.
a Chihuahua whippet cross.
Yeah.
Kirsty Finch says CPA was a great airline, a regular at Manchester when I was a kid in the 70s. Yeah, that's going back a few years. Canadian Pacific.
What about Air 3000? Do you remember them?
Canada 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember them. The planes being swapped.
Detailer art says
Yeah.
stock shells and fly miles.
Now this is it might be me when I was just settling into my first job as a crewing officer at Air 2000. We're overhearing a conversation with like the ops guys, and one of the like shift leaders would say, "Oh yeah, Monarch. You know what the M stands for, don't you? Mafia." Yeah. So because they would always used to say they would never chatter at their aircraft and everything like that. If there's any emergencies, Monarch would never.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it was urban lore or me just being gullible on like my first shift, but yeah, that's what the M stood for Monarch.
Somebody asked you to go for a bucket of tartan paint afterwards. Yeah, I was so obsessed with planes still while I was at school that I decided to do my work experience at Woodford.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I went for 2 weeks. I went to British Aerospace Woodford and was allocated to the Avro Engineering Division.
Brilliant.
Where they would change the inside of the cabin on the Avro RJ series aircraft and repair engine nacelle dents.
Mr. Logan Aragon. Just watching his Ryanair, we're kind of a bit all over the place on approach.
It's pretty windy.
Yeah. Although it's directly down the runway, so I just have to shout out to Hans Lofborg, who's also an Arsenal supporter along with me.
Oh.
Big up the Gooners. We're Premier League champs. And that's football chat over with. Evening, Harry Jervis. Good to see you. Yvonne Picton was saying, what about ATC? She said her hubby was in the RAF and learned his trade there. But yeah, ATC, how'd you get into that? I mean, that's very...
Well, there's a training program that you go into with NATS.
Yeah, there's a simulating and everything like that. Yeah, that's up and coming. That's what I love about technology, how that technology is allowing people nowadays to get into these careers.
I don't know whether you still have to move down to Swanwick for 2 years or whether that's changed a little bit since, but that was basically what it used to be, and then you'd be allocated in an airport once you finish your training.
Good evening, the lovely Julie Kay.
And did he said many pilots start as cabin crew or baggage dispatch because it's a good way of funding flying lessons and being around the procedures of working for an airline as well.
Very good, yeah.
You've got to think creatively.
Keith Meredith says favourite plane is the 757. It looks incredible with the Jet 2 silver livery and red writing. It certainly did. We miss GLSAI amongst the others every single day.
We never really had the 300 variant in the UK, did we?
No, there was a few like with Condor that used to operate with Thomas Cook.
Yeah.
I've got a vague memory.
Audio's gone.
Completely.
I can't hear anything. Oh, it's just mine. Sorry. It's just my headphone.
I've got a vague memory of Excel maybe having some.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I came back from Gran Canaria on a 300.
Yeah.
That was the same one where we got flown out on a Transavia 737-800 when they were fairly new.
I think that's one thing I'd always say with jobs is don't always think about the direct job that you're trying to get into, because often there's another something else you can do first that gets you closer to it.
Yeah, so that work experience, I remember sitting there for 2 solid days watching a guy repair a bird strike on an engine nacelle.
Wow.
It was equal parts interesting. It was equal parts interesting and utterly boring to watch. What it taught me about it was the level of precision that went into those kind of repairs was beyond anything. Because I mean, my parents, my dad was like in car body repair and paint work. So he repaired cars from crash damage and stuff. So I'd seen him do stuff. But compared to what and he was fastidious with that kind of work, But compared to what this guy was doing, like shaping an oval of aluminium and getting it to the right shape one way and the right shape another to put it in as an inlay, it was just, incredibly, so much attention to detail.
Yeah, I think that's what's missing, isn't it? That attention to detail, because nowadays everybody expects everything instantly. Like if you want to search for an answer, number of times that you'd have to let learners know like you don't expect the first answer on Google to be the correct one and things like that. So attention to detail is something that is definite a great attribute to have as a career in aviation.
Catch you later, Nev, and good evening, Jero. So we're probably going to wrap it up in a few minutes. If you've got any final questions for Ken while we're here, pop them in the chat. Anything, any other parts of wisdom you want to share, Ken?
Whatever you want to do, go for it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
As my one of my favourite podcasts, Tony Ryan say, start the effing blog. Stop thinking about it.
Just do it.
Yes.
Worrying
Yes.
just makes it, because by the time if you spend 6 months worrying and thinking about it, you could have been 6 months into it.
That's it.
Doubting yourself over it, just do it. And all that you could ever do is do it wrong and correct.
Exactly, and if it doesn't happen the first time round, just think about why and just go another route. Try something else. Don't give up on it, because it can work. I'm not saying your dreams will come true necessarily, not for everyone, but
I put the link to the Discord on the screen. We'll try and get Ken on the Discord.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can interact with people on there as well if you want to, and we'll set up a bit of a channel there. We can put some questions on there as well. Just finishing off what I was saying about Woodford. I mean, the best thing there was probably there was a couple of things that were fantastic actually. The most mundane thing, but the most interesting, was just cleaning the cabin interiors of some British Aerospace ATPs that had been sold to Air Europa that were going out to Palma to operate for them. I don't think they were there very long. I think they only kept them about 6 months. I did that. I sat on an Avro 146. The little regional jet with 4 engines, sat on an engine test with it at full power. That was cool in the cockpit. That was fantastic.
Those are great experiences, yeah.
Shaking it was. And then I was over in the flight test hangars for a couple of days with a chap who's a self-confessed plane spotter, and I did not have the guts to admit it was a plane spotter. I lied to him when he asked me. Yeah. Like, I was surrounded by plane spotters and I couldn't be honest about it. It was ridiculous.
And that's what I love, like seeing it at the runway visitor park, like number of like young girls taking up that as a hobby as such. Yeah, that's amazing to see.
And in the flight test sheds with that chap, we were up on the tailplane of a BA 146 attaching wooden batons to simulate icing to the rear of the tailplane just before the elevator.
That's
with like speed tape.
That's brilliant work experience. Yeah.
Like, I mean, a 146 isn't particularly tall. I mean, there's one part that's over there, but you know, it's tall enough that you wouldn't want to fall off it. Yeah, it was fantastic, brilliant experience.
Well, I hope today's been inspiring for just one person, but if it's inspired many others, even better. Thank you to the team here. You've been amazing to show your support and letting me share this experience with everybody here, so thank you. No,
it's been great to have you with us. Thanks, Ken. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining. Thank you to all of you who've been asking questions as well and sharing your experience. It's, like you say, all it takes is one person to watch it, whether it's today or they watch it another day, that might inspire them or give them the confidence that they need.
I don't want to interrupt your wrap-up flow, but I have to say, Andy D said the best thing about Woodford was the canteen. That was so true. We were given like a £5 meal voucher, I think. You could eat like a king there. The canteen was utterly superb. Every single day, like, A 3-course hot meal. It was brilliant. Anyway, sorry Thierry, go for it.
I had that with one of the Tesco stores I worked at. Had a really good canteen because they got rid of most of the canteens. You know, they went to like vending machines and that kind of stuff. But one of the ones I worked at still had proper staffed canteen throughout the day and into the evening, and it was always really good. And they were the only people that have ever managed to do tea cakes where they're perfectly toasted but still soft.
Oh yeah, that is
I've
really
never
hard.
managed to do tea cakes properly. Every time I do them, they go really crunchy and hard. I'm like, how did they do these tea cakes?
Yeah, that grill of ours is terrible for it. I think a gas grill might be the trick.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Anyway, on that food-related note, thank you very much for joining us this evening on
Pack the
our
squeaky chair up.
on our little bonus stream. We will be back tomorrow with our regular scheduled programme for Thursday. Thank you to our lovely mods who have been with us this evening and given up more of their time than they already do. So thank you so much for keeping the chat going. Thank you for all of you who have tuned in and joined us. Again, thanks those of you who have shared questions and experience with us. Thanks to Ken for coming along.
No, thank you.
And I guess thank you, Rob, as well.
Oh no, thank you to both of you for showing up. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a blast, and we will see you tomorrow evening.
Yeah. So until the next one.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Bum, 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 ba-dum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Da, 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 da.
Go on, Ken. Do, 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 do.
We're gonna have to teach him the ditto.
Right, yeah.
Oh, doesn't know the theme tune. Catch you later.